Hey, thanks for clicking on my video. If this video helps you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. It is greatly appreciated and it really helps. Let's get to the video. Hello everyone, in this video we're going to talk about how we can translate a simple rational function. So the type of rational functions, the form that we're looking at is going to be y equals a divided by x minus h plus k. And to do that, we're just going to follow these three steps. So first of all, we want to draw the asymptotes x equals h and y equals k. So remember, for our simple rational function, or our rational function that is just a number divided by x, right? We don't have plus anything on x or minus anything. We're not adding anything to y. Then our asymptotes are at the x-axis and the y-axis, right? So here, essentially, we have to translate the asymptotes as well. So whatever we see for h, that's where we're going to move our vertical asymptote, right or left. And then whatever number we see for k, that's how we're going to move our horizontal asymptote up and down. So we're going to draw those asymptotes, then we're going to plot points to the left and to the right of our vertical asymptote. So depending on wherever our asymptote lands, we just don't want to include that x value, right? We want to include some x values on the right and some on the left. Once we graph those points, we can draw our two branches of the hyperbola so that we can see where our points, or how the branches pass through our points and how it approaches the asymptotes. All right, so here's the example that we're going to do in this video. It says graph g of x equals negative 2 divided by x minus 1 plus 3. So let's talk about our asymptotes first. So we see that we have x minus 1 right here. So x minus 1. And so now that's going to tell me that we're going to move our vertical asymptote 1 unit to the right. Okay, now remember that our asymptote did start right here on the y-axis. So we'll change this to a dashed line. Okay, but now this minus 1 tells me we're going to move it 1 unit to the right. Okay, so it looks like minus 1, so you might be thinking, hey, why are we not going to the left there? Well, because remember, in our equation it started off as x minus h, right? So what number did we plug in for h for it to still be x minus 1? Well, we plugged in just a 1, right? So h is equal to 1 tells me we're going to go 1 unit to the right. If this were x plus 1, then that means we would have plugged in negative 1 for h. Because we would plug that in, it would say x minus negative 1, and we know that becomes x plus 1. Okay, so that's why we go to the right 1 unit. All right, now the plus 3 right here, that's going to tell me that we are going to go 3 units up for our horizontal asymptote. All right, so that's where it starts. We'll make this dashed again. And now this tells me we're going to go 3 units up. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so those are our two asymptotes. And so now you can see our table of values on the right. This is why I have these x values in the table. So my vertical asymptote is at x is equal to 1. So we don't want to include an x value of 1 in our graph. So we have negative 2, negative 1, 0, but then we skip 1 and we go to 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's giving me 3 x values to the left of my vertical asymptote and 3 x values to the right. So now we're just going to take these values and plug them into our equation. So we're going to do negative 2 minus 1. This will be in my denominator, so that's a negative 3. So negative 2 over negative 3 would be 2/3, and then plus 3, and we get 3 and 2/3. So negative 1 minus 1 would be negative 2. Negative 2 over 2 would be 1, and 1 plus 3 would be 4. 0 minus 1 would be negative 1. Negative 2 over negative 1 would be 2, and 2 plus 3 would be 5. So now we do 2 minus 1 would be 1. Negative 2 over 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 3 would give us a 1. 3 minus 1 would be 2. Negative 2 over 2 would be negative 1. And negative 1 plus 3 would be 2. 4 minus 1 would be 3. Negative 2 over 3 would be negative 2/3. Plus 3 would be 2 and 1/3. Okay, so now we're going to graph these points. So negative 2, 3 and 2/3. So negative 2, 3 and 2/3 would be about right there. Negative 1, 4, and 0, 5. Okay. Then we have 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, and 4, 2 1/3. Okay. So now we know that our branches, what they should look like. They're going to approach our asymptotes here. So there would be one piece, and here would be the other. Okay, so that's how we can graph a simple rational function.